Don't let your Thanksgiving go up in flames. While many people are choosing to deep fry their turkeys instead of sticking them in the oven for hours, firefighters want home cooks to be very careful. The first rule of safety is to completely thaw out your frozen bird.
You don't want to drop a frozen turkey inside of that burning oil. You also don't want that boiling oil to be any excessive temperature. We had ours at 400 degrees.
Firefighters in Virginia showed just how quickly a grease fire can get out of control. They also say not to overfill the fryer with oil so it doesn't spill out when you put the turkey in. Another mistake to avoid is placing your deep fryer on a wooden deck. The fire chief says to stand it on concrete or in the grass and keep the gas tank at a safe distance.
You want to make sure that all safety mechanisms are still in place and that the gas is away from your fryer.
When done properly, a fried turkey can be a delicious treat for all of your guests. But nothing will spoil your holiday more than having to call the fire department should things go wrong.
Turkeys hold a special place in our hearts, on our tables, and in pop culture.
Oh my God! Monica's gonna totally freak out!
We love a good quirky turkey moment as much as anybody, so here are some of our favorites. First up, this dog who just maybe loves turkeys more than anyone else on the planet.
This is Molly the collie. She's 4, and we've had her since she was a little pup.
Molly helps her humans herd these guys.
It takes us many, many hours to do with a few people, and Molly can do it in about 20 minutes all by herself. And she helps keep the turkeys safe.
Molly keeps these 1,400 turkeys in line and keeps them away from foxes. We can only assume this is how turkeys express agreement. Next up, a far more gentle way to celebrate the Thanksgiving holiday.
Come here, baby. Can I meet your fancy pants?
Oh,
yeah. This is what I came for.
Animal lover Ellie Lax wanted to celebrate Thanksgiving without harming any animals, so she came up with her own Thanksgiving celebration at the animal sanctuaries she founded in California, Tennessee, and Missouri.
From the inception of the Gentle Barn, I established a Thanksgiving event where people like me who love animals, that have adopted a plant-based diet and want to celebrate life together, can come together and form a family of their own.
And plenty of people took her up on the offer. Unlike other Thanksgiving celebrations, the people and the turkeys got to enjoy it.
People from around the world will come here today to cuddle turkeys, cherish life, feed them their favorite treats, eat a gourmet, delicious, plant-based meal that harms no one.
That's the message behind this farm's celebration as well. The Farm Sanctuary in New York flips the script on the traditional Thanksgiving meal, letting the turkeys chow down instead.
Thanksgiving is a really horrific time of year for turkey. So today, instead of being served on someone's table for dinner, they'll be eating their own Thanksgiving feast.
And it certainly looks like these birds liked the veggies that were on their tables.
Mr. President,
hello there.
good
How
to
are
see
you?
you. Good to see you. Whoops.
I knew this would happen.
Finally, who could forget the wacky tradition of presidents pardoning turkeys?
Drumstick, you are hereby pardoned.
The first presidential turkey presentation took place in 1863 with Abraham Lincoln. But it wasn't until 100 years later that a president used the word pardon in relation to a turkey. John F. Kennedy didn't actually pardon his bird, but Ronald Reagan did.
Look, I had a chance to shoot a bunch of you the other day and didn't.
Pardoned turkeys have been sent to special farms or, more recently, to be cared for by students at Virginia Tech.
I hereby pardon you from the Thanksgiving table.
And that's something worth flapping your wings about.
These are our weirdest turkey stories. What's the most that you would pay for a Thanksgiving turkey? In 2021, this 25-pounder retailed for $329. These birds, a little smaller, sold for $200. They're called the Rolls-Royce of turkeys.
It even comes with its own branded thermometer because they don't want you to overcook it.
They're raised on a farm in Virginia and bred to be delicious. They're even hand-plucked.
This turkey is the nicest turkey that I've come across. I think in terms of flavor, in terms of the experience, and even from like the fat and the drippings that you're gonna make your gravy with, it'll make your gravy taste that much better.
Some people only have turkeys in their house on Thanksgiving, but in October of 2022, this bird decided to fly into an Ohio home a little early.
Oh, the window broke. It flew through the window.
Police were called for the unusual home invasion after the turkey broke through her family's window.
That poor turkey, though. Oh, I feel so bad for it. I feel so bad for it. It's probably hurt. I put it on video just in case we need it for our home insurance.
Oh, okay.
An officer tried to use a net to capture the lost turkey, but the scared bird decided to show itself out.
Did it just run out? Oh, it's out.
The turkey probably realized it was a little too close to Thanksgiving to be a house guest.
1, 2, 3. Good girl.
In 2016, Jody Smalley went on a trip with her pet turkey. Yes, pet turkey. It was a new experience for this Virgin America ticket counter agent. And it didn't take long for her fellow travelers to whip out their cell phones and take pictures.
This is like so cool. I want to show my wife and my daughter.
Then it was off to security where TSA agents got quite a shock.
I've had a parakeet, but not a turkey.
The 25-pound bird breezed past security and then made their way down the jet bridge. Then the turkey literally hopped on board. The bird, named Easter, knew right where to go and headed down the aisle to economy.
No one's gonna believe me. Did the turkey get its own seat? Oh no, really?
Some scoffed, but for Jody, the trip was genuinely emotional. She had had Easter since she was a chick and never needed her more than this moment, because her husband died of cancer 3 months prior.
We're going to San Francisco to go spread some of my husband's ashes, and so she's been there for me through all sorts of different things.
Easter sat comfortably in Jody's lap for the 2-hour flight. After touching down in San Francisco, Easter exited the plane like a pro. A wheelchair was then used to transport her through the terminal. This bird certainly earned her wings. In April of 2022, this Kentucky turkey was in trouble with the law. Why? Well, for viciously attacking this canine unit car, of course. McCracken County Sheriff's Office tweeted out this hilarious video of this guy, nicknamed Tom Turkey, going to town, and he looked upset. In August of 2022, these Staten Island turkeys did not like the cops driving through their stomping grounds. And the birds meant business. When the cops tried to drive off, the turkeys kept after them. The mischievous pair even looked like they were discussing their next victims.
Wait, I can't.
Time for turkey! But in 2017, instead of eating these birds, these traditional centerpieces of the Thanksgiving holiday got to gobble down on their own meal.
So today, instead of being served on someone's table for dinner, they'll be eating their own Thanksgiving feast.
These turkeys on a farm sanctuary in New York got a feast of kale, cranberries, and of course, pumpkin pie. The annual celebration aimed to draw attention to the animals and teach others, including kids, about being kind.
For the last 22 years, the Dahl family has opened their home to strangers for Thanksgiving.
It's really good for people to feel like they have a sense of community, a sense of family.
We're never quite sure who exactly is going to show up till they get here. We just make it work, and people come and they're happy and they're fed and they're having a good time.
38 guests arrived this year, each with their own background and story.
It is probably one of the most important things to have a place to go for Thanksgiving. If you don't have it, it's the most neglectful feeling, so I'm thankful.
They began hosting people for Thanksgiving after meeting those who didn't have families to spend the holiday with.
I'm most thankful to actually just have the Thanksgiving dinner, because last year I didn't get to have that opportunity. So it's just great to be reminded of home.
Every year, the holiday is special for the Dahls to share stories with strangers and make lasting friendships.
Even though we don't have a lot, we give what we have, we share what we have, and then we're blessed as well.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving from the International Space Station.
Unfortunately, astronauts in space don't get to gather around the table for a Thanksgiving feast with their families. But that doesn't mean that they won't get to eat some of the traditional food that everyone on Earth will. The Texas A&M Space Food Research Facility has created more than 50 menu items for U.S. astronauts for this year's festive meal.
We produce these meals ready to eat so we can have a very long shelf life. We will do all the food prep, we'll package it, and then we'll heat seal it, and then we'll run it through a heat process to sterilize the inside of the pouch.
The International Space Station has already received their food and shared what their plans are.
Here's our turkey right here. It's mashed potatoes, candied yams, green beans, and mushrooms. This is our cornbread dressing. We've got cherry blueberry cobbler for dessert, so that's going to be awesome.
And this space family won't be missing out on Thanksgiving football either.
We're going to have Mission Control send up some live football games for us to watch to complete the experience of Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving traditions are meaningful to everyone. Doesn't matter if you're floating in space or grounded on Earth.
Time for turkey.
Are you ready, drumstick?
Last year was President Donald Trump's first Thanksgiving turkey pardon in the White House.
Drumstick, you are hereby pardoned.
A turkey presentation started 155 years ago in 1863 with Abraham Lincoln. The turkey gifts for presidents became a national symbol of good cheer. In 1963, President John F. Kennedy became the first president to use the word pardon when referencing a Thanksgiving turkey, but he did not actually spare a bird, rather announced that he would not eat it.
Mr. President,
Hello there.
good
How
to
are
see
you?
you.
Good to see you. Whoops.
I knew this would happen. Pardoning a turkey didn't become an annual event until around Ronald Reagan's time in office.
Look, I had a chance to shoot a bunch of you the other day and didn't.
So where do the turkeys go once they are spared from the holiday meal? Beginning with Reagan, the lucky birds were sent to special farms. At the 1989 turkey pardon, President George H.W. Bush had to assure those in attendance that the bird was going to a farm when the event was picketed by protesters.
I hereby pardon you from the Thanksgiving table.
Turkeys pardoned by President Trump and Barack Obama are cared for by students and veterinarians at Virginia Tech. So rest assured, the turkeys, now honored at the White House, won't end up on anybody's Thanksgiving dinner plate.
Grease fires are the #1 accident, as our Megan Alexander found out.
Oh my gosh.
James Hickman of the Nassau County Fire Marshal's office in New York says putting out the fire the wrong way can just make them worse.
People panic. Their #1 reaction is to throw water on a fire. That's exactly what you don't want to do with a grease fire. It spreads it and can hurt you and spread the fire into the rest of the kitchen. Let's see what happens. The safest and easiest thing to do is to put the pot top back on the pot. It removes the oxygen, it stops the fire.
And always keep a fire extinguisher handy. Everyone loves fried turkey, and this demo shows how dangerous it can be.
Don't put a frozen turkey in the boiling oil. That is the #1 cause of the fires getting out of control around the country. And then you need to gently, carefully, cautiously lower the turkey into the oil.
And one last thing.
Nothing is more important than having a working smoke detector.
One mom mixes Christmas with April Fool's Day by playing pranks on her kids. Claire Henderson of Manchester, England, has been doing it for years and seems to enjoy it as much as the young ones do. This year, her kids found their bathtub filled with elves playing in popcorn, as well as their living room floor having been turned into lava. Claire also sealed the family's car in cling wrap, so I guess they'll be doing a lot of walking this winter. It's certainly a unique holiday tradition.
I'm getting a very important lesson just in time for Thanksgiving.
One of the most common injuries this time of year, frequent visits to the emergency room, is because of a dull knife.
A dull knife.
A dull knife.
Not a sharp knife.
Not a sharp knife.
Chef Michelle Dahl Olson with the meal kit delivery service HelloFresh says be careful cutting your turkey.
When a knife is dull, you're going to be pushing really, really hard to get something to go through. And it might not even cut through what it is. It's going to skid off to the side and can easily hit your hand.
It happened to Food Network personality Jada De Laurentiis during a live Thanksgiving show.
Was this great? Sorry, guys. I'll be right there.
Did you cut yourself?
Yeah, I sliced my finger.
Cut along the backbone to the Pope's nose like so. Oh! Now I've done it. I've cut the dickens out of my finger. Well,
Who can forget Saturday Night Live's Dan Aykroyd playing an accident-prone Julia Child making a holiday meal?
Butterball Turkey Talk Line, how can I help you?
The Butterball Turkey Hotline is already taking calls. The command center gets roughly 11,000 calls every Thanksgiving from people having emergencies. Do you get calls from people who've actually injured themselves?
My partners here have gotten some of those wacky calls in terms of maybe we're not the best person you should be calling in the moment, and we would definitely revert people to call 911 if it was that much of an emergency. But we do get those questions on safe carving techniques.
Using a potato, Chef Michelle showed me how you should keep your fingers in a claw position to avoid cutting them.
They should always be curled. And that way I'm holding it into place, and I can put my blade right up against my fingers, and that's going to guide where the cut is.
When the turkey comes out of the oven, wait at least 20 minutes before carving.
It's going to be too hot, you'll either burn yourself or all the juices are going to come rushing out and you're going to have a really sad dry turkey. There we go.
Start by cutting off both legs. Then it's on to the breasts. Chef Michelle switches to a smaller knife to get around all those bones.
And I'm just going to slowly start to work it away from the bone. I like to take the whole breast off so that I can cut it into slices. You can see the grain of the meat. I want to go against the grain. Making my claw again, I can get these nice slices.
Tips for a delicious and injury-free Thanksgiving.
Bon appetit.
Bon appetit.
Happy Thanksgiving. Be safe.
Something borrowed, something basted. This couple walked down an untraditional aisle together, then had turkey to celebrate. The bride and groom met at this very supermarket on Thanksgiving 2012. It was love at first sight for Mary, who was shopping in the store when she spotted Charles in search of a can of cranberry sauce. After 4 years of dating, they decided to tie the knot where they connected. In keeping with the theme, the bridal party carried the cans, and even the cake was topped with cranberries. No word on whether the newlyweds were roasted by the best man during the reception.
Some people only have turkeys in their house on Thanksgiving, but this bird decided to fly into an Ohio home a little early.
Oh, the window broke. It flew through the window.
Miami Township Police were called for an unusual home invasion. A wild turkey broke through a family's window.
That poor turkey, though. Oh, I feel so bad for it. I feel so bad for it. It's probably hurt.
Despite the unexpected visitor, the homeowner was completely practical.
I put it on video just in case we need it for our home insurance.
Oh, okay.
An officer used a net to capture the obviously lost turkey, but the scared bird decided to show itself out.
They just run out? Oh, it's out.
Crash in and crash out. This turkey probably realized it was a little too close to Thanksgiving to be a house guest.
These wild turkeys are going postal. Watch as they chase the mailman as he makes his appointed rounds in Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Every day.
He says he's used to it because it happens every day. He even has a pole to keep the flock away until he can drive off safe and sound.
For Thanksgiving, two cousins who were both in the military decided to surprise their family by coming home for the holiday. Their 81-year-old grandma, Anne, was particularly shocked by their arrival. Dan Howard, a lieutenant in the Navy, and Alicia Howard, an airman first class, coordinated the surprise. Jan's girlfriend Haley drove them so no one would expect anything.
Scared we're gonna give Grandma a heart attack.
We might. We probably will.
This will definitely be a Thanksgiving the Howard family will never forget. Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
The tongue stuck on a frozen pole, just like in A Christmas Story. What's the right thing to do?
Well, let's go into the lab and I'll show you.
Okay, great. Julie Gagan of the lab, the tiny scientist in Brooklyn, showed me the solution, using a pole dipped in liquid nitrogen to get it to sub-zero temperatures, and a pig's tongue.
You yell as loud as you can, you get some help over there, and you get some warm water. And then you're gonna have to work with the tongue, you're gonna have to squirt a little bit, get a little bit of warm, and slowly, slowly pull the tongue off.
In the animal justice system, Christmas-related offenses are considered especially heinous. It was a nightmare before Christmas, as one family's holiday cheer was shattered by a shocking crime.
It was December 2nd, about 0800 hours. I walked into my living room, just going to enjoy a cup of coffee. And as I got into the living room and looked just past our Christmas tree where the doggy door was at, I saw just a horrific scene right there.
Their elf was brutally murdered, decapitated, and dismembered.
I've been a cop for 20 years, and I've seen a lot of ugly, gruesome scenes, but this was probably the worst.
Grieving members of the elf community held a vigil for their fallen friend, as authorities raced against time to catch the killer before he struck again.
I just had this hunch, that cop's sixth instinct, that told me the criminal was still inside my house.
Suspicion quickly turned to Josie, the family dog.
Immediately I looked over at Josie, our 2-year-old Boston Terrier. Love that dog, but there was a sign of guilt in her face. Here I am as a lawman and as a pet owner, as a father. I realized that I had to uphold my oath. And as I looked into Josie's eyes, I saw nothing but guilt. It was sad.
Josie was booked and charged with elf homicide.
For right now, Josie's being held without bond. She is retaining an attorney at this time. She's went ahead and invoked her Fifth Amendment right. She's not talking.
Tensions between the alleged elf killer and the elf community continue to run high, as Ferrari tries to come to terms with the crime.
How are we supposed to enjoy the Yuletime spirit, the joy of Christmas, knowing that we possibly have a criminal inside our home? And that's really shattered us as a family.
Under Sheriff Ferrari can only hope to put the pieces together again, of his family and his elf. Santa went skydiving and ended up in the hospital. The cringeworthy video was taken at a charity event in Florida. The man dressed as Santa was supposed to make a dramatic entrance to hand out gifts to children. Instead, things took a turn. There arose such a clatter as he crashed into a tree and light pole before landing on the beach and breaking his leg. He's going to need surgery for his injury. And maybe next time he'll leave the flying to the real Santa and his reindeer.
So, you've bought a Christmas tree. Next step, how do you get it home safely? Many of us who live in the burbs tie it to the roof of a car. 44% of Americans who plan to buy a Christmas tree use unsafe methods to get it home.
It can make for a very unhappy holiday season.
AAA's Shawnee Jarvis gave us some tips to avoid such mishaps. First off, cover the car roof with an old blanket.
What does this help us?
Yes, the blanket is going to protect your vehicle from scratches, from the branches, from the pine needles.
Load the tree with the trunk facing forward like this.
If you're driving and a gust of wind, front of the tree is a lot lighter than the back of the tree, so a gust of wind is just going to take that tree.
Also, use a roof rack if you have one.
You're going to want to make sure you use like a strong rope or a ratchet in order to really get a good grip and have it really nicely tied down.
So something like this, a really
something
strong
like
rope
this,
like this.
Yep.
Try to avoid like chintzy twine.
Try to avoid twine.
We're not going to go through the window. We're going to use a fixed point.
We're going to use a fixed point on the vehicle. Tie the tree down in 3 places. You want to do it at the bottom of the tree, the top of the tree, and the center of the tree. This is going to make sure that you have the best fit.
AAA also says once you have your tree loaded up and you're on your way home, try to drive slowly by avoiding the highway and taking back roads. Lesser speeds help to prevent the tree from sliding around. As if you didn't have enough to worry about these days, there are reports of a nationwide Christmas tree shortage this year. One big reason, according to the experts, the wildfires that ravage the West Coast have taken their toll on Christmas tree growers. More reason to be careful with the precious cargo you're transporting home this year.
Oh no, it's the Grinch. But this Grinch isn't going to steal this Christmas. Not with these kids around. That'll teach them.
This Good Samaritan, seen on a home surveillance camera, thinks he's responding to an emergency. A stricken homeowner dangling from the roof while stringing Christmas lights.
Oh, mister, please hold on.
The Good Samaritan from Austin, Texas, struggles to move a ladder to come to the rescue.
All right, can you reach it? Can you reach it?
What he didn't realize is that the homeowner is actually a mannequin of none other than Clark Griswold, the buffoonish dad played by Chevy Chase in the holiday comedy National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
She was scared something like this was going to happen. I was like, nobody's going to think it's real, and she was right.
Chris Herline and his wife Hannah recreated that memorable scene, hoping to win the neighborhood's Christmas decorating contest. Check out the identical clothing. It looks just like the movie.
It looks so real, and it turned out better than I could have ever expected.
Maybe it was a little too realistic. When that passerby gets no response from Clark, he yells for help.
Help!
The Good Samaritan was identified as Alfred Norwood Jr., a retired veteran.
You know, he said, I don't care who you are. If I see somebody in need, I'll be there to help.
Oh, mister, please hold on.
Wow. Up in flames, it's the Christmas tree outside Fox News headquarters in New York City. Fox News anchor Shannon Bream was on the air when the fire broke out.
All right, a bit of breaking news for you tonight. You're looking at live images. This is the Fox Square in New York, outside of Fox headquarters. It appears that our giant Christmas tree there was completely engulfed in flames.
The hosts of Fox and Friends were left stunned.
This is an American icon. This is our Christmas tree.
Right.
Someone setting fire to it. What is happening to our country?
3, 2, 1. Merry Christmas!
Just 4 days ago, viewers saw the tree lighting ceremony carried live on the network. The blaze was set just after midnight. All that's left is this steel structure you can see behind me. As tourists stop to take pictures, security has been beefed up. A homeless man, reportedly with mental issues, has been arrested for arson. Fox News is promising to replace the tree and to have a second tree lighting ceremony ASAP.
Wow!
Just a few blocks away is the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree. Security there has been boosted just in case.
Dear Santa. Dear Santa Claus.
We would like some games to play together.
There were over 400 letters that had been delivered to that apartment. It was overwhelming. They were spilling out of the mailbox.
We always knew Santa Claus had pen pals.
I remember at the time, it was like, what do we do with all these letters?
But somehow, these letters addressed to him all went to the same New York City apartment. And for at least a decade now, no one seems to know why.
Nobody can really give us a straight answer.
When Jim Glob moved into an apartment in this West 22nd Street building in Manhattan about 15 years ago, he already had an inkling he'd be getting mysterious mail.
Dear Santa Claus, first of all, I want to wish you a Merry Christmas. My friends who lived there before had said that when we were looking around at the space, they're like, oh, just so you know, you're going to get these weird Christmas letters, Santa letters, probably every year.
But he had no idea that in 2010, the pileup would get out of control.
We started to get 2, 3, 4 a day, 5 a day, every day. Until December, I mean, we were getting about 30, 40 a day. This was very unusual. Some of them were from mothers who were writing for their 2-year-olds. I have 3 children, Liseth, 10, Samantha, 6, and Kayla, 2. Unfortunately, I'm a single mom and it makes me really sad. I can't handle it anymore. They were from kids who needed coats, shoes, bags, basic necessities. It was really overwhelming to read some of these letters. I felt extremely in a bubble. It wasn't until we had a 1960s holiday party and the letters were stacked up in the corner. And a lot of people were like, what is this? What are these letters that are in your apartment?
Amanda Lehner was at that party.
I thought it was very strange. We started reading them and decided to fulfill them.
And it sort of turned into this sort of like little community thing where everybody started to take the letters.
So you don't live there now, but do you still take those letters and fulfill them?
Yes, we take the letters and still fulfill them to this day. Just imagine this times 100. Everyone who's lived in that apartment has been so amazing about this.
I just moved here about 3 months ago from Baton Rouge, and now I'm living in Santa Claus's apartment.
Meredith McKernan is the newest tenant of the 22nd Street apartment.
No, seriously, this is like a real thing.
Yeah.
You're gonna get these letters. And
Jim sent Meredith and her roommate a note about the letters after he moved out a few years ago.
In Louisiana around Christmas time, helping families is what I've grown up doing, and I think this is kind of a sign, like we're receiving these letters. How can we not, want to help out if this is Santa Claus's apartment?
I can't even tell you, like, it is so heartbreaking to read some of these stories.
You just want to help,
Yeah.
You just want to do what you can.
Yeah.
Even if it's buying a small little gift for a family, like that would make their Christmas,
It does, it makes a big difference. I think that there's something magic about that address that I think people have wanted to carry it forward. We were flooded with texts and messages from people all over the world who were touched by this story and really inspired us to create a nonprofit that does this every year.
The nonprofit is called Miracle on 22nd Street, a nod to the Christmas classic Miracle on 34th Street.
Every one of these letters is addressed to Santa Claus. The post office has delivered them.
We connect families in need with real-life elves, meaning that you can adopt a family will write a letter to Santa, they'll upload it to our website, and you can adopt them right away and be able to get them the things that they need for this year.
What I want to show is you can go through and pick which family you'd like to fulfill, and you can do as many as you'd like. I have a background in nonprofit communications, so it was a natural fit for me to help them out, put together the nonprofit. I do all the fun admin stuff and just keep it moving.
Oh, this will be great.
We have a network of 2,000 elves now. Every year we hit around 500 families.
I thought it was very inspiring and I wanted to be part of it.
Being Santa's helper is important for Nadia Fortini.
My goal has always been to help children, empower them to be the best they can be. I grew up in a family, we were not poor, but we didn't have necessarily a lot.
She's been volunteering with various organizations for the last 20 years, and most recently with Miracle on 22nd Street. 3 Christmases ago, she was matched with a family of 9 from Arkansas.
I looked through the wish list and sent a gift to everybody, including the parents. I know it could get really cold in Arkansas, so I got those cute little boots and gloves. The mother told me many times she felt so overwhelmed. She cried of joy to see all those gifts for the children and even themselves. And after that, we built this great friendship with the family. So here is Amber.
And it's a friendship that led Nadia to becoming the photographer for the wedding of the family's oldest daughter.
There was a picture I took right before the reveal with her fiancé, Ron. That was my first time meeting them in person. It was magical. I didn't feel like I was meeting them for the first time. I took some pictures of their wedding and helped the other girls getting ready as well. And it was just wonderful to be part of this experience and being able to help out and then, being able to attend this magical moment for their family.
Nadia has enlisted her colleagues at Microsoft in Seattle to participate too.
I have several colleagues that came to talk to me about it, and they signed up to receive a Santa letter. So they're very excited.
It is hard to deal with the sadness on their faces every single Christmas. They're always expecting way too much from what I can afford.
So did you ever solve the mystery of where the letters are coming from?
Okay, so do you want the practical answer or the magical answer?
Both.
The practical answer is that the address was actually listed on a PTA newsletter that went out to the school district. We didn't get any confirmation from that. We've asked families that submitted to the letters. A lot of them also, when you ask them, they didn't want to feel like they're getting in trouble.
I reached out to the New York City Public School District for some answers. They didn't have any either.
The magical answer. The area of Chelsea in which that apartment is located is in a place that used to be called Chelsea Square. Chelsea Square was owned by a gentleman by the name of Clement Clark Moore.
Clement Clark Moore is the author of the famous poem, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas."
When the poem came out, there was thought that people had found his address and wrote him letters to Santa to see if they could help him this year.
Chelsea's always been a bit of a magical place.
Jason Haber is a real estate expert and a New York City historian.
Clement Clark Moore did not live in this house here. He did live in the area though. So it's hard to say why the letters are going here.
So what does the U.S. Post Office have to say about the mystery? Well, when I spoke to them, they told me they don't know.
The thing that I think is so bizarre about this whole thing is that it's turned into something greater than us. It's so many people that have been connected to people that they never would have been connected before.
Another unique connection was made possible because of these letters.
One of the calls that we got was from Tina Fey. She left a voicemail and was like, "I love your story. Can we turn it into a film?" I was like, oh my God, yes, of course. So she's been writing the movie with her husband, Jeff Richmond.
I'm really happy about the movie coming out, and it'll be really funny to watch the whole story play out in a holiday film. And I love holiday films, so I feel like it'll be like the feel-good movie of the year. It'll be nice, warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. I mean, what could be better? I was wondering if you can give me a hand and help my kids this Christmas. I would love to see a smile on their face. They're so innocent. Hopefully you can help me.
I used to be very obsessed with trying to figure out where those letters came from, but now I don't care as much. It's just magic, it's part of the fun.
So I guess if we were to find out where the letters came from, that seems great, but there's some magic behind this, and that feels like the spirit and the reason for this season. Thank you now for anything you would be able to do for me and my family. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Sincerely, Patricia.
And that's The Miracle on 22nd Street. I'm mishaps for InsideEdition.com.
DNA analysis of a partially eaten cookie and a nibbled carrot are being used to prove the existence of a very important person, Santa Claus. A 10-year-old detective sent a letter and samples, allegedly bitten by Old St. Nick, to Rhode Island's Cumberland Police Department. The department says they have identified a person of interest and that the investigation is still ongoing.
This adorable 3-year-old is about to get one more gift on Christmas.
Open the present, Katie.
Okay. Show me this. It's just my... Nothing.
Little Channing Brooker thinks her parents are playing a trick on her. But watch again in slow motion. There was a cat in the box, and it leaped out before she realized it.
Our cat name's Gracie.
We spoke to mom, actress Heather Brooker.
At first I thought, did that just happen? It was just our luck. We were trying to plan this beautiful, memorable moment. And then when I saw the cat jump out, I was like, oh no.
That's one sneaky Christmas kitty.
The holidays just wouldn't be the same without over-the-top light displays. Every year they get bigger, brighter, and louder. This explosion of holiday spirit in Kingman, Arizona is best appreciated when viewed from above. And look at this extravaganza in Cranberry, New Jersey. The Shaw family built one of the biggest displays in the country to raise money for their local food bank.
We have over 135,000 lights being controlled by 50 computers.
But they've had to cut back after some of the neighbors complained.
We've shortened the display times and we keep the noise levels down.
And this display in Manhattan, a plastic reindeer singing Jingle Bell Rock non-stop all day long, is driving the neighbors nuts.
That's the Jingle Bell Rock.
It's noise pollution.
Attorney Nick Wilder got so fed up, he sued the homeowner, and it worked. She turned the music off.
Think about it. Do you want to hear 16 hours of Jingle Bells in a row? No.
So if you are planning to light up your house like the Griswolds, remember your neighbor may not share your abundance of Christmas spirit.
Oh my God! A woman was pranked in the most festive way.
I really don't like it. Oh my God.
Call it a case of sibling rivalry.
Last week we were going to try and prank Rachel, and she does not want any Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving.
Angela Severance says that warning from her sister, Rachel Spain, gave her a great idea for a holiday prank. Rachel confided in Angela that she didn't want anyone at work to decorate their Texas office for Christmas too early. Working with Rachel's boss, Angela got access to her office and decked it out from top to bottom with wrapping paper, tinsel, singing animals, and a little tree. When Rachel arrived at work, she realized Angela got her good.
Oh, it's so cute. I really like this tree.
Angela reports the decorations are still up, and they really put Rachel in the holiday spirit. Let's just hope Rachel doesn't exact her revenge when buying Angela's Christmas present.
The Halpert family Christmas card is never complete without their beloved dog Murphy. Year after year, the little pug is front and center, an integral part of the family for sure. And here's this year's Christmas card. Whoa, something's missing. Where the heck is Murphy?
Our friends and family immediately started asking about him. You know, what happened to Murphy? Is Murphy okay?
Of course, all their friends thought Murphy must have passed away, replaced by the family's new pet, a yucky lizard named Scales.
People thought your dog had died?
Yeah, that was definitely a concern for some people. Some people had thought he went over the rainbow.
So, what happened?
We forgot Murphy.
Remind you of something? Kevin! Yup, they just plain old forgot about Murphy. But here he is, fit as a fiddle.
This year with the new lizard, the dog just kind of got forgotten.
To make it up, a new card was made to reassure everyone he was A-OK. It reads, "My humans forgot to include me in this year's holiday card, but I assure you that I'm alive and well."
Oh, Murph, I'm so sorry I left you off the card.
'Tis the season for gift wrapping, but it's not always so easy.
I have no patience. Look at this mess.
Lots of people just can't get it right. So, lifestyle expert Lee Moore-Suss is here to show our Allison Hall how to avoid holiday wrapping fails. Let's start with those oddly shaped boxes. So frustrating. First, measure your paper and begin to wrap without the gift inside, leaving one end open.
It's like a custom-made gift bag. It's really easy and it fits perfectly.
No wrapping paper? No problem. Just use a brown paper bag.
But it's basically like a blank canvas. You can just put ribbon around it. You could put little ornaments around it. You could put a candy cane.
Another tip, use a festive sock to wrap a wine bottle. A clean sock, of course.
And then they can wear their new socks and drink their wine.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Perfect.
And we've all been there.
Sometimes you don't have enough space because you just measured incorrectly. So what you want to do is you flip the present over to a 45-degree angle, and then you're going to start wrapping it on an angle, and then the gift wrap, it'll fit.
And that's a wrap.
Santa Claus is in the gift-giving business. We already knew that. But what he did for 81-year-old Tom Webster may be the ultimate present.
Merry Christmas, Tom. Good to see you again.
Webster was enjoying a community Christmas lunch in his UK town when he collapsed.
I was slumped in the chair with my head
down the side there.
Webster was certainly in the right hands. Santa, born John Paul Gilmore, was waiting backstage and is a former emergency nurse who now runs his own community ambulance service.
He had no colour whatsoever in his face. He wasn't responding at all, and there was no breathing.
4 chest compressions later, Webster was back to life.
Remarkably, Tom's first response was, ouch. And the second response was, which I've never heard before, was, where's my present?
Well, there was no present, or one could argue that the gift was that Webster is able to celebrate another Christmas, healthy and at home. For Inside Edition Digital, I'm Stephanie Officer.
They just got their Christmas tree home and out of the SUV. But when it falls down, Dad gets out to help. Unfortunately, the SUV is in neutral and starts rolling away. He chases after it and averts disaster, just barely. Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
There goes a week. It may be one of the most depressing holiday commercials ever. It features an elderly man who goes to drastic measures to bring his family together for Christmas. A German supermarket chain Edeka released the heartbreaking ad, which starts with an old man learning his family won't make it home for the holidays again.
Hallo Papa, ich bin's.
Hallo Opa.
Ich wollte nur kurz anrufen und dir Bescheid geben. Wir werden es Weihnachten dieses Jahr wieder nicht schaffen. Wir versuchen es nächstes Jahr und dann klappt es ganz bestimmt. Fröhliche Weihnachten, Papa. Bis bald.
Fröhliche Weihnachten, Opa.
The children then get the news that their father has died. But when they meet at the house, they are surprised to find him very much alive.
Wie hätte ich euch denn sonst alle zusammenbringen sollen?
Talk about a whirlwind of emotions. The German ad has been viewed over 15 million times and has gotten mixed reviews from people all over the world. Some write that they are upset over the ad, while others are posting that they're changing their holiday plans to be with family. Without you.
Oh, what fun it must have been for Marie Dahlem, as she really got into the holiday spirit during her choir concert with the OK City Chorus.
Being a member of OK City Chorus allows me to run off in the evenings and kind of indulge in my silly side. I think of myself as really a serious person and shy. In my normal life.
When she's not singing, Marie is an associate professor of religious studies at the University of Oklahoma and has authored 2 books. Her grand display of enthusiasm was on purpose.
Our chorus in particular is known for humorous performances, so it's a little bit tricky to make a Christmas concert funny. But I was asked to jingle the bells during the singing of that song and to be as goofy as possible. So that's why I performed that way.
And she says she doesn't regret it one bit.
I received messages from people all over the world who watched the video, and they've said things about how they were having a bad day or a sad, depressing Christmas, and that watching the video cheered them up. So that was really inspiring and made me feel pretty good.
Oh, what fun it is to ride in one horse open. Because at the end of the day, her energy is contagious.
It's a live nativity scene at a church in Tennessee. Uh-oh, 2-year-old Tegan, who's playing a sheep, seems to be fixated on the baby Jesus. So she takes him right out of the manger. That's when the 3-year-old playing Mary takes the doll and puts it right back. So far, so good, then this happens. She puts Tegan in a headlock. Yikes. Tegan was really the star of the show. The crowd was eating this up.
The more that they laughed, the more entertaining she felt like she should be, and she was wanting to strut her stuff just a little bit.
fear not, peace was quickly restored.
This woman comes home to find a delicious frosted Christmas cookie at her front door. But who left it there? Let's rewind the tape. Turns out to be a friendly neighborhood squirrel. Now that's the Christmas spirit, delivered by a pretty furry secret Santa. Check out this Christmas tree surrounded by more than 300 gifts.
Can't even see your tree.
No.
After Emma Tapping posted the photo on social media, parents blasted her, calling her materialistic. Just remember, there are a lot of children who won't get much, wrote one critic. Others posted the picture with the hashtag #TooManyPresents. Now the 35-year-old mom of 3 is speaking out to Inside Edition.
How many gifts do each of your children get?
The girls have got about 85 each.
85 each?
Yeah, and my son's got about 30.
That's a lot.
Emma wants the holiday haters to know she's constantly on the hunt for bargains. The 300 gifts covering her Christmas tree cost about $2,000. We went shopping with Emma at Fantastic Kids Toys in New York City.
Excuse me, do you have any sales or promotions on today?
Yeah.
She found Legos for 40% off. And that's another gift to go under the tree.
Do you think you'll do this again next year?
I would, yeah. I wouldn't let anybody tell me how to spend my Christmas with my children.
This little guy wasn't going to let the Grinch steal Christmas on his watch.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
So he called 911.
I'm just trying to tell you something. Watch for the Grinch. Because the Grinch won't steal Christmas, okay? Okay, do you have any adults there with you?
Man, I'm sorry. This is my son playing on the phone.
I'm innocent. Nonetheless, the Byram, Mississippi Police Department showed up and let 5-year-old Tylen Pittman, who wants to be a cop when he grows up, place the Grinch under arrest.
What do you tell him?
Put your hand behind your back.
There you go.
The Grinch was taken downtown and locked up.
Lock him in.
Twist it.
This is one Christmas little Tylen and his parents will never forget.
So they called him a hero today.
You're a hero? Rock star.
Yeah, a rock star.
This is how you save Christmas. All these presents were spared from this fire thanks to one brave postal worker. Watch as the USPS driver removed packages with help from a stranger in the neighborhood while the front of the truck was in flames. Firefighters in Wake Forest, North Carolina say the mail carrier saw smoke coming from the dashboard and pulled over right away. That's when she got to work on rescuing what most likely were people's holiday gifts. Once firefighters arrived, they quickly stamped out the fire. The fire chief says only 2 items were damaged and no one was hurt. You can't say this hero didn't deliver. Somebody's a star. Just look at the girl in red outshine her classmates during their Christmas concert at a Catholic school in New Jersey. 8-year-old Lucy, would you believe, is actually shy off stage, her mother reveals. But put her in front of an audience, and she's ready for her close-up, Mr. DeMille.
In the animal justice system, Christmas-related crimes are considered especially heinous. It was a case of Christmas-time vandalism. Someone, or something, was chewing up a New Jersey town's holiday display. But who was the Grinch taking a bite out of Christmas? All eyes pointed to something with teeth. Police in Seagirt, New Jersey, rounded up the usual suspects, but none of them were squealing. But the case broke wide open when a shutterbug caught the perp red pawed. The PD charged the squirrel with criminal mischief. It's currently out on bail, but will it bite again? It was a Christmas crisis.
patient here for you.
Perfect. Sam the elf was off, not to the North Pole, but to the hospital for emergency care.
Monday morning, I woke up to her screaming, bloody murder, pretty much. And I came running out of my bedroom.
Jennifer Thielen's daughter told her their 2-year-old German Shepherd had attacked Sam the elf. Jennifer works for Orlando's Arnold Palmer Hospital for Children, the perfect place to treat an elf in distress.
We put Elf on a stretcher, and we had Ashley, one of our paramedics, dress up in the trauma room.
Okay, let's see what we can do. Make some magic happen.
With special Santa gloves, Ashley performed a special surgery. And with a little magic, Sam was back in good health.
All better. A little magic. Make it all better.
Just in time to help Mr. Claus with his own holiday miracles.
Check out these ridiculous Christmas cards, and yes, they're real. For the last 12 years, the Bergeron family has been dressing up like different people for their themed Christmas cards. Dad and Mike shared the cards on Imager, and they quickly went viral with people loving the hilarious poses. In 2004, the Bergeron couple faked a pregnancy for the funny holiday card, with wife Laura holding a beer and a cigarette, and Mike donning a mullet. The 2006 season's greeting was a throwback to their youthful years, wearing a mouthguard, and Mike wore a members-only jacket. Then one year they were inspired by the classic American Gothic painting. 2009 was an homage to Latin culture. Then when the family grew in 2010, their little ones joined in for a classic awkward family photo. For their second child in 2012, the whole Bergeron family dressed Gothic. In 2014, Laura dressed up as Dad and Mike dressed as Mom. Their 2 daughters also dressed up as little boys. Let us know in the comments which of the 12 years of Christmas cards is your favorite, and be sure to watch Inside Edition.
How can you avoid a Christmas tree disaster? Inside Edition's Allison Hall went Christmas tree shopping with DIY expert Jason Cameron for some simple tips. First, pick out the perfect spot in your home.
What if I've got carpeting?
Great question. A lot of people have that. So piece of plywood, put that down, put the base on top. Now it's nice and secure and solid.
On to the Christmas tree stand.
We've got 3 different ones to choose from. You've probably seen some of these.
Watch what happens when we use a cheap plastic stand that costs just $15.
So now we got one of the plastic bases.
Let's see what happens.
All right. Look at this already.
Whoa!
Barely touched it. That's what you don't want to happen.
No kidding.
Go ahead and start bringing it up.
Now try this more expensive welded steel base that costs about $50.
So Allison, we got the tree set up. It's in the welded steel stand. Go ahead and tug on that.
Wow, that is not going anywhere.
Once the tree is decorated, there's another precaution you should consider.
I have one more tip. Grab yourself an eye hook and some fishing line, tie it to the tree and anchor it to the wall. It's not going to go anywhere.
Santa may know if you've been naughty or nice, but this year he's changing up the way he creates his list by using a lie detector test.
Seem like you lie often.
Depends.
Have you been naughty or nice this year?
Nice.
Lie.
Nice.
Oh, watch that, you're gonna start moving now.
Nice.
There's not one thing.
Maybe one.
In a new video by Distractify, a bunch of cute little kids were hooked up to a lie detector in front of Santa, while his elf helper checked if the kids were honest. Their answers may surprise you.
How much do you want the remote control monster truck?
I don't know, like 3,000.
Would you rather have that or world peace?
Monster truck.
All right. At least you're honest.
Remote control monster truck.
You're okay with people fighting as long as you get presents?
Yeah. World peace, because next thing you know, World War III is gonna happen. And then I can't have my present. World peace is more important.
Lie. The kid wants a drone.
No. World peace, probably.
Lie.
What?
Would you rather everyone got to eat this Christmas?
Yes.
Or the monster truck?
Monster truck.
My elf says you're telling the truth.
Be sure to watch Inside Edition.
Open it.
Little Mason is opening a present on Christmas. What's it gonna be?
Banana!
The adorable 2-year-old is absolutely bananas for his gift.
I got banana! I got banana.
He even remembered his good manners.
What do you say?
Thank you. I got the banana.
I spoke with Mason's dad. Did he react like that with every gift he opened?
He didn't react like that to anything besides the banana.
I got banana.
Hey, pillow fight. Pillow fight. I'm sleeping. Where am I?
This man is using impromptu pillow fights to bring holiday cheer.
Pillow fight.
Pillow fight?
Pillow fight. Let's go.
All right, wipe it on left-handed. I gotta put it in my left hand.
He draws his inspiration from Will Ferrell's Buddy the Elf.
Why are you smiling? I just like to smile. Smiling's my favorite.
This buddy hit the streets of Boston, handed out pillows, and started swinging.
Oh, the spin moves.
How do you win?
You don't. I do.
Everybody smiled, laughed, and throughout the day, the more and more pillow fights we had, the more and more we wanted to make others, laugh and smile.
When it comes to the holiday spirit, sometimes you just can't fight it.
Oh, you weren't ready. Oh.
That's ready.
Police made sure a little boy's holiday fun wouldn't be ruined when his elf on the shelf was stolen. Lorraine Villahermosa says the elf was in her purse, which was taken. Her son, 8-year-old Giovanni, looks forward to what kind of trouble the elf will get into every year. There was some good news when she found out her purse was recovered, but local police in Virginia weren't going to be able to retrieve it from an evidence locker for a few days. Elf on the Shelf had shown up at their home on December 1st every year for the past 5 years, and this mom asked the police if they would be able to help her pull off his biggest stunt yet. Police were happy to help come up with a cover story for the elf until Villahermosa could get her purse back. Giovanni got a letter from Santa saying the elf, Freddy, was helping police on a secret mission. Freddy even got his own business card saying he was an honorary detective. Giovanni got photo updates, seeing Freddy on the job every day. When it was all over, the elf returned back to Giovanni and is continuing to surprise his household with a little bit of holiday magic every day. For InsideEdition.com, I'm Mara Montalbano.
Powerful stories that change the way you think. Impactful investigations that change the way you see.
How many times has your car been stolen?
5 times. Yeah.
What? Do you think that you're a responsible owner of tigers?
I damn sure do.
Heartwarming moments that change the way you feel.
I feel amazing.
Now available in a place that changes the way you watch TV. Inside Edition, streaming.